All right, we're back.
Back
Carlos
in action.
Jimenez,
Carlos Jimenez, president.
president of, I'm not sure, but anyway, how you doing?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me today.
Nice. Yeah, so we're going to touch on quite a few different things, just kind of catching up. We're about to go into peak season of 25. There's a lot of stuff going on. What do you see happening right now in the market? You see a lot of people that are interested. I think it's going to be a pretty busy peak season. We had our meeting and we saw that the numbers are actually up this year. In a lot of U.S. markets, that's not the case. So what are you saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, interesting that you mentioned that because I think that the perception of a lot of people is that the market is like super slow and that there's really not much happening, right? And as we saw like in the meeting, I mean, numbers obviously like they show the opposite to that, to where like general sales are up from like last year. And I mean, in my personal experience, I have seen more interest in people looking to view properties. And not just here in Los Cabos, I mean, like all around Pacific, East Cape, La Paz, which, I mean, you know, it's like very active, and obviously like here in Los Cabos. So I feel that now people are feeling a bit more confident because, well, you know, like all the craziness with, and talking specifically about the US, with, you know, like tariffs and, you know, like our president and everything, I think has kind of stabilized a bit more, so people are feeling more confident. The stock market is doing good, you know, like
Stock market's at all-time highs, man.
It's all-time high. So that confidence, I feel that it'll translate into more people like looking into the market and wanting to invest. A factor that I think was very interesting. So I have a friend up in the States that. She has been, I mean, she was living here and she went back to let's say the job market in the States. And she was telling me that basically from like a month ago to date, she has seen an increment in job placement in like the job market, you know? Yeah. So that, I think that is also, a factor that means that they're like also employers are are hiring more people because they're kind of like seeing like the let's say the path that maybe like the economy would take. But overall, I agree that the peak season should be busy and should be busier than last year for sure.
I'm part of this mastermind group and we have calls like once a month, and it's people from all over, but it's mainly like real estate and investing. And one of the people that was sharing was saying there's been a lot of rhetoric around lowering interest rates in the States. And these guys were talking about crypto and Bitcoin and stuff. And this guy was just basically saying like, you know, buckle up because there's a lot of pressure from the White House to lower interest rates. Stuff's already at all-time highs. The last time we lowered interest rates, and it's not going to be as drastic as 3% interest rates, but if it even goes down half a point or, you know, close to a percentage point, it could get bonkers. And we already have the stock market at all-time highs. I like to tell people the stock market's a really good indicator, especially for people that are buying second and third homes. It's not like they're not necessarily financing, so the lower interest rates obviously dictate everything, but having a stock market all-time highs, some guy was telling me the other day, he's like, hey, Cabo seems expensive, you know, real estate wise, and there's a ton of areas like Loreto, like La Paz that are alternatives. And I asked him, I'm like, man, take a look around, go to Atlanta, go to New York, go to LA, go to Nashville.
Yeah.
Everywhere is pretty expensive. The stock market, you could say, is expensive. So I think you might see people rotate that money. You know, if you're sitting on a really large gain in the stock market, you could rotate that into property here and have a hard asset. So it'll be interesting. And I don't want to go too in depth on that because I wanted to cover golf courses in San Jose because we had some interesting stuff, and I like golf. I play a lot of golf. We had a recent sale in Carencia, and we were just going.
Like a quick comment before like we leave that subject. For people that are ready to buy like right now, or they have the interest, I think like for them is like the perfect moment because, well, there's a couple factors. Summertime, for like the market slows down, so some sellers are trying to like provide like better terms, right? Better incentives. I mean, we've seen to where that there has been adjustment in prices and like quite a bit of properties. So there is like, I wouldn't say like, I mean, they're not lowballing prices, but there are good opportunities out there. So like it's perfect timing for people that are ready to like literally come and like invest. So yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. We had some interesting data for the San Jose golf courses. And I wanted to get your opinion on some of these. We look at these numbers behind you, and this is just kind of like the 5 main golf courses in San Jose that are not like El Dorado, right? In Palmilla, Carencia, Puerto Los Cabos, Campestre, and Cabo Real. If you look at the top 3, and this is sales, homes, and condos. Most of this is going to be housing inventory over the last 365 days.
And that would also include land?
Yeah, no. This is just homes and condos.
Okay.
Palmilla, Carencia, and Puerto Los Cabos are all over 4 million, and Carencia and Palmilla is over 5 million. Carencia has gone wild, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, in a good way. And then I see a lot of value in Campestre especially for new modern stuff. And then Cabo Real has this Cabo Surf Club in Cabo Real that's not included in these numbers. And before I get your take on this, I've seen, so Palmilla redid Club 96, their beach club. Golf course goes private. Carencia finally does their beach club. Golf course doing a second golf course. I personally think as soon as that came on, you saw like a 20% increase in pricing there.
And then Palmilla got the reserve, no? Like in the backside?
Exactly. So Palmilla's got a lot of the growth now is they only have maybe like 20 lots left, at least in like the real exclusive part for Oceanside, So a lot of the growth in Palmilla is going to be on which is still, I mean, it's still quite expensive too.
Yeah, no, and it's, I mean, and you're like, if you compare with Querencia, I mean, it's literally like you're right next to Querencia, but Palmilla, I guess, it was like they were used to being like in the front part of like the ocean side, no?
Palmilla has a much bigger ocean side than Carencia does. Carencia's just got a little sliver, and it's basically that beach club and condos. So you have, I guess, kind of that advantage. Palmilla was one of the first places developed because the terrain there is insane. You have, you can build a home and then a home behind it, and you won't even see the home in front of you because the rise over run is so drastic. And then Puerto Los Cabos, I think they're going to add 9 more holes. That's going to go private as well. It kind of already is. And then Campestre was one of the first golf courses in San Jose. And I've said this before, but I think a lot of the newer stuff in there is going to become value. But if you look at Campestre has a beach club, and they're going to redo it.
Yeah.
So they're going to follow the same model. I can't confirm this, but I've heard that it could even be condos
in that area.
So I don't know if that would be knocking out the whole thing, but they're going to do something at some point, and then that's going to, I think, follow that same formula. And Puerto Los Cabos, you have like the Zadoon, Ritz-Carlton stuff. They're adding a beach club there too. Yeah. So they're all kind of following this formula. And then Cabo Real and Cabo Surf Club, that's a very ambitious project. It's just starting, but they got the money to do it. They're going to move the golf holes at Cabo Real across the highway, and that whole thing they're saying is a beach club. That's a big piece of land because it's like 2 golf holes, maybe 3, and there's going to be real estate offerings there too, and then that's going to eventually go private. So they're really all following the same formula where it's like beach club, and then private golf, and then it gets exclusive. But I'm just curious, what are your takes on if you had a favorite?
Well, you know, like
Maybe a favorite and then like best value.
like I think like Campestre is really like the best value.
I agree.
Because well,
It's a really nice golf course too.
well, I mean, you have a Jack Nicklaus golf course. The community has become, you know, like something iconic in San Jose for where you can get it for your money. But if you see like the average price for a house, let's say in Campestre, which is 1.2.
That's homes and condos though too. You do have more condo inventory.
Yeah, but I would say like towards that price range, you're most likely looking into like a house, no? Like over like
you can get a really. We have a listing at 125, and it's 4 bedrooms, really nice.
And so like if you think about it, I mean, for like $1 million, like what can you really get? Like let's say in California, right? Or like other states in the U.S. where like I mean, real estate is like off the roof. So if you think about it, if you can get a 4-bedroom house for $1 million, one and change on a golf course, ocean views, oceanfront beach club, and still being able to get maybe like a condo like below that price range, I think that's like the top.
This is interesting too because Carencia has seen this drastic rise, right? But they've also increased membership fees and you know, HOA, that all comes with it. So I know people that are looking to sell in Carencia that are going to be moving into Campestre. So I think you're 100% right. If I had to pick the best value, at least from an appreciation standpoint, I think you can't beat the pricing right now in Campestre. But I also say these newer communities, because you have some stuff in Campestre that might have been built, I don't know if I'd say like the 90s, but you know, you have, you know, it's more of a hacienda-style feel. So, and I'm not saying those are bad plays, but a lot of the new modern stuff, the construction style that people want now, I think that's going to do very well.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm talking, who knows when a new beach club would happen, but let's say if it's 2030, you got a long-term horizon, that 1.2 number, I think gets a lot closer to that 2 million number.
And as a favorite, I would go with Palmilla. Yeah. I mean, you know, just the fact it's like iconic to Cabo, over to Los Cabos overall, and like you say, they have Club 96, which is incredible. They have a very extensive list of restaurants, amenities, obviously, like the length of like the ocean front that they have, and I think it's just like it's. Honestly, like I feel it's way more beautiful than in my opinion than Carencia, no?
Yeah.
And then you go on to like Carencia and the other ones.
The beginning of this year, I was 100% Palmilla.
Yeah.
And we did this tour. They ended up buying in Carencia, and we toured the top 3, right? They ended up buying in Carencia, but this was like a 3-month-long buying process before we did the offer. And part of it was because like Carencia was like, if you know, it felt like 4 years ago, right? Carencia has definitely grown on me, but listen to like the husband and the wife. They had a couple with them one time, and they own in Cabo too. And I asked one of the wives was being like really quiet. You know, we had just toured 4 homes, and I was like, hey, which one do you like? She's like, I like them all. I was like, all right. I was like, okay, well, what did you like better, Palmilla or Carencia? And her response was, I liked that Palmilla was green. And once again, you get on like the ocean side and you have like this, you know, so I love Palmilla, especially when you get into those like newer, it's just, I agree, it's iconic. That was literally, you had like a former president's son have the pick of all these areas, and he picked Palmilla. The small beach, you also have that at Carencia too, but they picked that because it was such a incredible location. So those, I don't think you can really go wrong. And obviously there's no secret. I would clearly put Carencia as the better golf course, especially with adding.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, like I agree with that. Like I know that unfortunately, Palmilla, the state of the golf course has gone down.
No, but they're
revamping.
yeah,
it.
like
Yeah,
they're. I think
revamping.
they were gonna spend like $1 million on the bunkers, to, you know, just getting like this like ridiculous sand.
Yeah, what I have seen like with Carencia specifically is that they have like created like this very family oriented clubhouse and amenities and services. And I have seen like I mean quite a bit of like the families that have been or let's say couples that have bought in Carencia. I feel that they've been like family oriented or they're younger families with like kids and stuff. So Carencia does have like a really good program, like social program, but yeah, I mean I need to go back.
What are your thoughts on Puerto Los Cabos?
Puerto Los Cabos, I mean, it has its charm, but I just feel it's like very scattered. You have like all these different name brand resorts, which the majority of them are like top-notch resorts or brands. But like it's nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. You have like great views. Even like the ocean there is very nice, and they have like the clubhouse and so on. But I just feel it's like just scattered, and you have like a bit of everything.
It's interesting because once again, and this is why I love doing tours, because I just like I'm soaking up. Like when people walk into a place, I'm like really looking at their reactions to see. We toured in Puerto Los Cabos, and on pricing and like view, I was like, this is exactly what they're looking for. And they had actually been looking at Legacy Club in Diamante, and the wife said that it felt like Diamante and the fact that it was kind of like not in town. And she liked the fact that like Palmilla and Carencia were, in the corridor proper, even though that Puerto Los Cabos is probably the same distance to downtown San Jose. It's really not, but it had that feel. And when you say it's like scattered like that, it's a huge piece of land. And don't get me wrong, and they're going to be adding, the golf course there is really nice. Another thing is like the golf courses here are so nice that I know people that will get on it like Quivira, and all they do is golf Quivira, and Quivira is great, but like, man, why would you not golf these courses? So they get stuck in these communities, and it's like the ego, like, oh, I'm a member here, and I'm gonna, like, dude, go play. Like, you got really nice courses, or, I've seen this between like Diamante and Quivira, where somebody's, oh, I would never go there, and they're just an owner in that community. I'm like, man, I'll go golf there. I have like, I'm wide open. I'm a free agent when it comes to golf. I'm not pot committed.
I mean, I guess like sometimes it could be like the distance, like, and and it's funny, like people when they get here to Cabo, I mean, there's a lot of people like get to like their property and they don't want to leave, right? If their golf course is next door, it's great, but like even with like Diamante and Quivira, like Diamante, it's like right next door, not that far away, and you can get there. But it just like I guess like the perception of like a lot of people.
And once again, I think we'll get more information for the audience on Cabo Surf Club. I wanted to show this. This is just MLS sales, okay? And obviously we already had and this is just throwing in Quivira, Diamante, and then Rancho San Lucas. So 3 other courses on the Pacific side. I showed this to somebody and they were like, Diamante seems low. And I think it is. I think a lot of the developer inventory, especially at the Legacy Club, is not pinging on the MLS. I would probably put that closer to Puerto Los Cabos. But when you throw in on the Pacific side, I think we're going to be in agreement on this. Like Diamante's got incredible golf courses. Rancho San Lucas, which is Solmar, is one of my favorite courses. But if I had to go for real estate, Quivira it's just so easy. The proximity to Cabo, the differential in price points from like a Movila all the way up to like a St. Regis, not to mention whatever else is going to be coming in the future. Beach club. You do not have a beach club yet at Diamante, really. and you do not have one at Rancho San Lucas. So you already have, and you know this, like it took them a while to get the beach club done at Quivira. They've already got the second course laid out. And once again, somebody could sit here and be like, oh, I don't like golf. Well, my family has a place in Quivira, and my parents have never swung a golf club in their life. So, you know, just because you're not a golfer doesn't mean these are great places to live. And that's where you see like the value in the community. But if you had to throw these in here, what would you, on the Pacific side too?
Yeah, no, I mean, 100% Quivira. Like, well, and you know, and you, like you said, no, Diamante, most likely they're not registering like other sales, but just the fact that it's close to Campestre is pretty interesting. But yeah, on the Pacific side, Quivira, 100%, and because like, well, I agree with like some of the factors that you mentioned, you know, like proximity to like the downtown Cabo. You know, you have that other exit that takes you directly into the toll road, so you can be in the property like super fast coming in from the airport. And just a combination of price point that you have, and besides that, I think like the topography of Quivira like beats like 2,000% over like Diamante, Rancho San Lucas, even though like they have views, no, but once you get like, you know, like the lighthouse and like the hikes that you can do and the views that you can get from that topography, I think that's a game changer. And you probably saw like the Diamante, you know, like they're clearing off all those lots in the backside, but like way in the backside, you know. And I mean, and most likely they will have ocean views, but it just like it's different, you know.
It's interesting. I actually like the topography in Rancho. It's kind of
Yeah, no,
cool
it's
when you come
good,
in,
yeah.
but I would say that Diamante is more like the flattest.
Yeah. So it would be like
and
Quivira, Rancho, and then Diamante based on the topography.
So people understand this too. Diamante has the Dunes course, which is a Davis Love III, which is the highest rated one in Diamante. You have a par 3 course, and then you have El Cardinal, which is a Tiger Woods course. And that is where the PGA Tour plays.
Yeah.
I love Cardinal because it's wide open. It's a fun course to play. But a lot of people, you know, like that's a PGA is playing there. And then the Legacy course that they're doing is another Tiger Woods course. And when that's up and online, that's where the PGA is eventually going to move to. So you have insane golf courses there, but the topography, another thing about Quivira, you have like the lighthouse mountain, and a lot of the wind, like for example in Copala, like that gets blocked.
Yeah, no, for
you know,
sure.
so
Copala,
and
Alvar,
the good thing about the Pacific side is it's cooler, but you also have like, I think May would probably be the worst month for wind on the Pacific. So if you're golfing like Diamante, one guy invited me out to Diamante to golf
I was like, you're getting
in May, and it was like, yeah, it was like 40, you know.
It's like
You pull up and you're like, man, like somebody must have canceled on him, and this is the only reason he needed somebody else to golf with him. You know?
Probably. Yeah, you needed to go dress like if you're going to like Burning Man or something.
Yeah, no, it's like another world. It was like cloudy, you know, and then you get over to Medano and it's, you know, like people are partying and, you know, and it's cool having the different climates. So
also going back to your comment about like people that don't golf and think that they don't need to own a property like within a golf community. I mean, you know, like that's a major value factor for properties, right? So it's just the fact that even like myself, like I don't golf, but I've been involved in golf communities for quite a bit, and I mean, you can tell right away the appreciation on properties when they're located in a golf community versus not being in a golf community. So anybody really that has the financial power to purchase in a golf community, I mean, I would highly recommend that just for resale purposes and
exactly,
and, you know, even rental purposes.
Yeah. Even so, like Quivira, I would say, in my opinion, is the most active golf course in Cabo. And it can actually be like painful to golf because so many people actually do it. And then you also have the St. Regis. I mean, I think next summer that should be on 100%. like hotel, that's going to bring another level of wealth to Quivira, which I think is just another uplift. So you have a lot of these tailwinds. Quivira doesn't need that right now. They've already got, if they just have St. Regis come on, like finish Alvar and have these other communities and then do the second golf course, like you have everything you need. And then just knowing that when something like Lighthouse were to happen, it's going to be at a price point that's going to make Copala and Movila look like.
I've heard that like they're working on, let's say like another Alvar, which would be located like, you know, where the service entrance is.
Yeah.
On the left-hand side, yeah. And just recently they were already doing topography work there.
Interesting.
And marking.
Because I heard, the conversation I heard was, hey, are we going to do like a Movila or are we going to do an Alvar? And they're like, we're not doing another sub-million. Yeah. So everything in Quivira is going to go up. So in that aspect, like Movila and Copala are kind of interesting. And you don't have that in Diamante. You know, the average price point in for Quivira was 2.5, and a lot of that's happening in Copala well below $1 million, and in Diamante it's closer to 3.5. You know, but you also have way less condo inventory. It's just like the Ocean Club in Diamante.
At the end of the day, it's like really, I guess it comes down to also like the amenity package, like this communities offer. And I like on the Pacific side, I think also like one of the big successes of Quivira has also been able to have the ability to finance their own properties, you know, to offer finance to buyers. So, but yeah, I mean, I feel that Quivira is like right now still has quite a bit to offer, and hopefully like we can have a new community there so we can make some more sales. The real estate market overall, I feel that just people that are looking, they should just pay attention to what's happening like right now. Because, you know, like it's like the stock market that like a stock comes up, it starts going up and people start like, you know, like kind of looking into it, and then next thing you know, like it's already like too expensive and it doesn't make sense, like it doesn't like make sense financially. So right now, coming out of like the summer is when people should like try to get a bit more serious on putting an offer down and coming down, getting a professional real estate advisor that can actually like assist them like in all their necessities. But I think we're gonna have like a very good year coming up for sure.
Nice, cool. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Well, hopefully,
Carlos, and
we can meet in the golf course.
I don't know. You might be better than Tucker. So, all right.
Thank you.